Hey everyone, welcome back to Born Brazen, the podcast where we say the things everyone's thinking, but nobody wants to say out loud. I'm your host, Holly, and if you're new here, this space is all about being bold, being honest, and being unapologetically real. No filters, no pretending, just raw conversations about life, relationships, mental health, ambition, insecurity, growth, and all the messy middle in between. Because let's be real, we were born brazen. The world just taught us to tone it down. So if you've ever swallowed your truth, questioned yourself, or felt like you had to shrink to fit, you're in the right place. Quick life update about me. Things are crazy. We're building a house, so that is moving right along. Last week, I was in Texas for a work meeting. I do have work outside of this. I know, crazy, right? It was really great. I was able to meet all of my team, which is all across the world. So that was pretty fantastic. Just really busy and trying to get through it. Sunday, I felt like I was hit by a bus. I was so tired. We just napped all day on Sunday, which was definitely needed. Enough about me. Let's get into it. So I have a question for you. Friend versus acquaintance. Is there a difference? And if there's a difference, what is it? Throughout the conversations that I've had in life, whether it's with a stranger or with another friend or acquaintance, you always hear, "Are you friends with Becky?" Most people, after I hear that question, I hear, "Oh yeah, I know her. I'm friends with her." Only a few I've ever heard say, "Well, I'm not sure about being friends, but we're an acquaintance." And I've always wondered to myself, why more people don't acknowledge that someone is an acquaintance versus a friend? Is it because they truly are a friend? Is it because an acquaintance sounds harsh or off-putting? Is it because you're afraid you're going to hurt somebody's feelings? And if you feel that way, why? I guess it would also depend on your definition of what a friend is. That could be based on that person's perception. But if I'm going to give you a little bit of a school lesson, by definition, a friend is a person who one knows and who has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual. We're not talking about those friends, or family relations. An acquaintance, on the other hand, is a person who one knows slightly, but is not considered a close friend. So now that you have a baseline of what a friend is versus an acquaintance, personally, I have a ton of acquaintances, but only a handful, and I literally mean a handful of friends. Is that a choice of mine? Absolutely. I only choose certain people, a few of them, to really be by my side. But before you're thinking, "Wow, Holly, that really is brazen," let me tell you why. We're jumping into an ad here. If you're using peptides or thinking about trying them, Atomic Labs is where it's at. All peptides are laboratory tested for purity and comes with a certificate of analysis to provide details about the purity and potency. My favorite is BPC 157. It's great for gut health and recovery, and that's super important to me since I have IBS. Use code BEAN15 for 15% off your order. That's BEAN 15 for 15% off your order. Go to atomiclabs.com, ATOMIKLABZ.com to place your first order. Don't forget to use that code BEAN15 so you can get 15% off. Atomic Labs products are used for research and laboratory use only. Tell you why. Trust is such a fragile thing, like a porcelain doll, if you will. It's easily broken and very hard to put back together properly. When I think of a friend, I think of someone who I can wholeheartedly rely on in any circumstance. However, I also know someone who's my friend is going to be 100% honest with me in any of those circumstances, whether that's celebrating my success, relationship advice, daily life advice, work advice, whatever that is. I would hold close that they're going to be 100% honest and not just agree with everything that I say. I'll give you an example. I recently had a seizure, the Sunday before Christmas to be exact. So I wasn't able to drive myself anywhere. If you've never had a seizure or never known anybody to have one, you have to stay 6 months seizure-free before you're able to drive again. So that puts a huge damper on life for a very independent person such as myself. I have a hard time asking for help. I'm getting better, but I have a hard time asking for help. And asking my husband is not always ideal, as he has his own work to do as well. And rudely enough, his work doesn't revolve around me, which, I thought I was the center of his world. But one of my friends, best friends, if you will, lives about 10 minutes from me. And I know that at any point in time, I can rely on her for just about anything. And by just about anything, I mean she's probably not going to go to jail for me. And that's fair. I don't really look good in orange, so it's a good possibility I wouldn't go to jail for her either. But we can tell each other that. That's totally fine. When I had a doctor's appointment a couple months ago that was coming up, I knew my husband was super busy. I knew he had a lot going on. So I gave her a call and was like, hey, I have to go see my neurologist on Tuesday. My husband, said his name, obviously, is super busy at work. Are you busy? Can you take me? Now, if I'm being honest, I know 99% of the chance of what she was going to say. But instead of saying, sure, I can do that, no problem, we start with, what time is it? And so then she looks at her calendar and gives me an answer. Now, why is this important? Why do I make a big deal out of it? Because if she has something going on that day, she's not afraid to tell me, nor if the situation was reversed, I would have a hard time telling her that I actually have something at that time. I can reschedule if you need me to. Now, notice I said need. The meaning there is that she's not telling me like, it's such an inconvenience to take you. I need you to need me. There's a mutual respect there that if all else fails, she will be there. But I also respect that if she has something going on in her life, again, that so rudely doesn't revolve around me, we're not afraid to be honest, because we know when it comes to love, when it comes to it, it's all out of love and not out of hate. She's not going to tell me sure and then turn around and complain about me to everyone on earth. I trust her in my medical issues. I trust her to tell me the truth. And I trust her that if I really needed her, she will be there for me. I trust her around my husband. Ladies, you know what I mean. Sometimes it's hard to find friends that way. So that's kind of what I imagine as being a friend. Someone that I can rely on, I trust wholeheartedly. I know without a doubt that there's never going to be a question in my mind of whether she's really there or whether it's just for convenience. Now, the ones I call acquaintances will never be that. And that's okay. It's okay to have an acquaintance. I would never call my acquaintance and ask them for advice or help. We just don't have that type of relationship. I see him every once in a while. I say, hey, if we're at somewhere together, I'm not going to be rude to them. I'm going to speak to them. I'll be cordial with them. We'll have conversations, but it's never going to go anything deeper than that. If I were to call them and ask them for help or advice, I'm sure they're probably going to say, yeah, not a problem. And I know that it's not necessarily going to come from a fake place, but it may feel more of I feel a little backed in a corner. I don't want to tell her no because what if she thinks I'm being mean? Or I don't want to hurt her feelings. And that's totally fine. I respect people who feel that way. But I don't want you to do something out of the simple fact that you feel like you have to. I want you to do something because you want to help. That's how I envision a friend, because that's how I treat my friends. I treat my friends in the way that I would treat my family, that I would treat my husband or my kids. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, but I'm also going to be there 100% when you need me. With my friends, there's no drama. There's no backstabbing. There's no lying. Y'all, I don't care what you say. That is hard to find. If you have a lot of friends, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I love that you have so much support surrounding you, that you just have an overwhelming team that is there to lift you up. But personally, I haven't had that. I've had a lot of friends that I thought were my friends, but they really weren't in it for the friendship. They were in it for the convenience. So some would say that I keep myself guarded a little bit, probably a little too much. But personally, I just like to keep my circle small. I guess you could say it's less room for error. So my point around all of this is to say it's okay to call people an acquaintance. It's not mean. It's not unemotional. It's not being brazen. It's just facts. If anything, I think it's emotionally intelligent to distinguish the difference between a friendship and an acquaintance. It means you're self-aware to know who you can trust, who will be there to support you, and who you're going to support 100%. When you have a friend, it's not a chore to hang out with or a hassle to interact with. You don't feel guilty about calling them. You don't feel like hanging out with them. You're looking at your watch thinking, I've got to go. This is just miserable. It's home. It feels good. It feels right. I guess if we think about it, that's why they tell you to marry your best friend. So the next time you need something or someone asks you, hey, are you friends with? Just know it's okay to be honest. It's okay to keep people close to your heart and some people at a distance. I think a big misconception now is that we're really afraid to hurt people's feelings. And to an extent, we don't have to be ugly. We don't have to intentionally hurt someone's feelings. But as I've learned in my past, and as I'm continuing to grow, I've learned that not hurting other people's feelings, not being honest, and not telling what I feel is right hurts me in the long run. It stresses me out. I feel like I'm being fake towards someone. So while I'm trying so hard not to hurt that person, when it comes down to it, I'm really hurting me. And if we don't start putting ourselves first, we can never truly be there for other people. And parents, I'm talking to you because I'm a mama. You can't be strong for your kids if you're not strong for yourself. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Are they the same? Do you see a friend and acquaintance as the same thing? Are they different? And if they're different, give me some examples. Where do you draw the line? What's a friend? What's an acquaintance? And maybe is there a happy in the middle? I'm not a gray girl. I'm very black and white. I'm trying my best to do better, but I'm very this or that. So let me know in the comments. Follow if you're on Spotify. If you are on YouTube, subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, leave a comment in YouTube as well. I really look forward to hearing you and reading your comments. I'm also thinking about doing some documentary reviews. There's been some crazy ones that have come out, like Lucy Letby. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but if you have, please let me know. That was a wild documentary. So I wouldn't go into details on that. There's plenty of podcasts out there that do that. One being Murder with My Husband, which we're in their gear right now, but I would just kind of give my point of view on it and your point if you have one as well. So until next time, stay positive, stay brazen.